Let's go ahead and take a look at C# delegates. And to start off with, I'm going to make a new console application. Okay. First thing I want to do is make sure everything's working okay. So I'm going to use a console right line. And let's just say make sure everything's working okay. And we want to pause this. So console. So we'll try this and make sure everything's wrong IDE. Let me do this. Okay. So looks like everything's working okay. Let's go ahead and try this out. Let's see. We've got our class program. We have our main method. Um, Tell you what. Let's take a look at what the textbook has to offer us. They start talking about delegates and how to use delegates. Let's go ahead and take a look at. Okay. So let's create a delegate. Greeting delegate. Okay. Kind of a long name, but if we do this, copy and paste this into our program. Now, delegates are more or less a class, so you don't want to put it inside of your class. Let's put it outside of the class. And do we really want to use this long of a name? How about if we say greet D? Okay, a little easier. And we've got a couple methods here that we're playing with. Let's see. Hello and goodbye. Okay, see if I can save a little bit of typing here. Copy that. And we have our class program here. And in our classes contain data and methods. Well, main is a method, and we can use main. We have main, so we have another method we're creating. So let's create it outside of our main method. We don't want to put it inside of our main method. That's where everything starts up at. Public static void hello. And I think they had one called goodbye. So how about if I copy this and just say goodbye. It's also passing a string. And instead of hello, we'll say goodbye. Maybe I should spell this the right way. Okay, so we have two methods in here. So far, so good. Let's go ahead and build this just to see if it will complain at all. And it looks like everything's going okay so far. Tell you what, why don't we just go ahead and take a look at using those. Let's create a string, call it name, and we'll assign a name. And let's go ahead and call this one. How about if we call hello? Now, yeah, no, better yet. Let's change this one. Let's say we're going to call hello, and we're sending our name string. Okay, so what should it do? Let's go ahead and step through this. So string is now Bill. We call our method hello. So once we call our method, it jumps down here to hello, comes into our console write line and says hello, and whatever we pass to it. In this case, it should be Bill. Comes back here, console read line, and here we have it. So it did what we told it to do, which was hello, Bill. Okay, works so far. And yeah, this is too small. Let me blow this up a little bit. And tools, options, environment, general. Okay. Go down here and let's change the font to that better. See if that's it. Yeah, it's a little better. Okay, let's go back to work. And let's unpin this too. Okay. Come on. Okay, and there was one more method that I think was in the example from the book, so let's go with and be void, and what's a good name for it? Greeting something. I'm at greeting. And in this one, passing a delegate. What was the name of our delegate? Greet D. Ooh, like that. Greet D. And what do we want to call it here? Terrible name. How about X? And I think we're passing a string. I have to check that to be sure. All right. And let's have a little output here. We could pass. Says, hey, there is no S. Well, let's not do this. How about if we okay. Okay. Greeting was a delegate. Control. Let's see. So I should be able to use the delegate and pass in, yeah. So greetings D is a delegate, not returning anything and passing in a string. So good. All right. So I can just use what I call it, str name, whatever's passed in here. So just output to the console and using this delegate, we are passing in whatever string that we're passing here. So okay, so we've got these three methods. Let's go back. So we can just call these directly. I can say hello. I can say goodbye. But delegates are a handy way of being a lot more generic. So once we've created our delegate, hey, we can use it in a much more generic way. And this. So let's go ahead and instantiate a delegate. So again, the name of our delegate was greetD, right? GreetD. And we're going to create a new instance of this called greeting1 and greeting2. Okay. And what we can do is we can say we want to create a new one of these. And when we do, here's the trick on this is that see these methods that we've got? One is hello and the other one is goodbye. Really simple methods, but I'm going to pass in here, oops, the name of that method. Okay, and do I have the syntax right on that? Well, I guess we'll find out. G2 equals new D, and this time we'll pass in the name of the other method, which I think was goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah, all right. Goodbye, there it is. All right. Now, what we have here in G1 and G2 are, they are in essence these methods. So G1 is in essence this method all wrapped up into this little instance name. So hello, goodbye, and as long as, let's see, we defined our delegate to be void and passing a string. So as long as these methods saying they're void and they're not going to return anything and they're passing a string, we are good to go on this. So let's take a look. Let's see what the book does on this. Okay, and they've got different names here. The greet method, okay. So they're going to use it on the greet method, this greet method here. All right, let's do that. So we had a greet method, and ours was named greeting. And so let's call this greeting. But greeting takes two parameters. It takes a delegate and it takes a string. Okay, so we got a delegate handy? Yes, we do. We've got one here called G1. And we've got a string where we can type in the literal and we can call greeting again. This time let's pass in G2 and give it another name that we're passing. Okay, so what are we passing here? We're actually passing this method, this hello method, to this greeting method. So pretty cool. And when we pass this G1 method, it should say we're passing the string that goes along with it, and should come back and say goodbye. And this literal is the name that we're getting back. So let's go ahead and try it. And let's follow it. So let's execute the code step by step. Okay. greet 1, greet 2, greeting our delegates here. Now we're going to go to greeting, jump down to greeting, passing in here our delegate value. So first greeting from greeting, and now this is our delegate that we're passing in. This is this object, really a reference to a method that we're passing in here. So we're in essence using this method um, to output this value. Okay, so it goes to this method, first one hello, and outputs the name. Okay, Tom. Comes back here and does the same thing. Goes to the greeting method again. Same exact same, only we're using a different method. So step through here, and we see now that should be going to the goodbye method. Very good. It's void, pass in the string, which is Mary. Okay, and that's it. So that worked out okay. So delegates, just a way to make methods into an object, into a reference, so that so it may not be too impressive when we've just got one line here, but say that's a 20, 40 lines of code in here. We can pile that all into one reference. Pretty handy, and then use it over and over again how we want. All right, that's all.